Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel by clicking on the red subscribe button.
Alright guys, let's take a closer look at my Nikon F2. I have this camera for about 2 years. I got it off eBay for about US dollars 170. But this day it will probably go up for a bit more. If you are new to the Nikon F2, you may be confused by the different models, but most of the time it's the prism head that make the difference. The prism head that I have on this camera is the DP1. It's the most basic prism head, and it will only accept the older kind of lens. As you can see here, you need lens with this what we call rabbit ears. Right, so if you are able to get a Nikon F2 with the newer heads like the DP11 or DP12, I would say go for it. But of course, those Nikon F2 with the newer head will cost more. So what do I love about this Nikon F2? I think first of all is the build. This is built like a tank, very solid. I think most of it are made of metal. And I'm glad that I got the black one because it looks really good. The camera doesn't come with a lens when I bought it. And my existing Nikon lenses doesn't really work on this camera because the lenses required on this camera will need this rabbit ear. This is actually the coupling bracket, right, which will attach itself to the prism head where there is a coupling pin here, right, and that will allow the prism to know what is the aperture that this lens is set to. So this is how the older kind of prism head, the DP1, works. To mount the lens, right, we will just lock it in place, and what we need to do is to turn the lens to the smaller f-stop. In my case, it will be the f16 in the counterclockwise direction, and once you do that, you need to turn it back to the biggest aperture, and in my case that's f2. Once you do that, you will notice that the coupling bracket is attached to the coupling pin, and what you can see here, it will display the biggest aperture on this lens, f2. Right, so this is a step that you need to do for every lens that you mount. You need to turn it to the smaller aperture and then turn it back to the biggest aperture. So I've been using Nikon camera, both film and digital, for a number of years. My first Nikon film camera was the F601, which is this one. This is mostly electronically controlled except for the aperture ring. So what's the difference between the F601 and the F2 in terms of the operation? I think the biggest difference to me is the knob itself. This design is, I think, the older F models design, which you don't find in the later F models or even the digital SLR. So the shutter speed control is here. Right, so now it's in bulk mode, and you can turn it to set to the different shutter speed. It's a dial, but I'm more used to the shutter speed control appearing in the top-down dial. In this case, this dial is actually to control the ISO setting. Let me show you how to remove the viewfinder or the prism. So usually I prefer to remove the lens so that this coupling pin is free. Right, so to remove this prism, you just need to press down this button. Right, press it down. You can see that it's popped. And there's this lever here which you need to press down, and you can easily remove the prism. You can see that this is DP1. Once you remove the prism, you can see that the shutter speed dial is actually here, and there's a pin here that couple this dial to the viewfinder. So without a viewfinder, you can put back the lens and shoot from the waist level viewfinder. Right, I'm not sure you can see, but you can see that the image is formed here, and your shutter speed is adjusted from this shutter speed dial. And you'll notice that there is a pin here. Right. This pin will allow the viewfinder dial to couple to this dial, right? Which is important because when you put back the viewfinder, you have to make sure that this dial is coupled back to this shutter speed dial here. And that's what I'm going to do now to put the viewfinder back in place. Just put it until you hear a click sound. Right, and you may notice that the dial here is quite smooth moving, or you have to turn, right, until you hear a click, meaning that this dial has re-engaged with the shutter speed dial that we see earlier. With every aperture stop that you change, there should be a quick stop. Right, it shouldn't be free moving. It's free moving, meaning that means that the shutter speed dial is not engaged to this dial yet. Right? The other thing that's different from my F601 is that you see that on the F601 there is a cable release socket here, where you can simply attach a simple mechanical cable release into this hole. But on the F2 there isn't. You will need to buy a attachment, which I don't have, to put in this shutter button. Okay, what I only have is this shutter button. Right, in some purchase you do not even have this, but it works the same. You just need to press the button here. Right, but with this it's sort of easier to press. So I just screw it back. The other accessories that you may consider to buy is a fresh attachment. We will be placed here, because you'll notice that there's no hot shoe for any on-camera flash mounting, right? So you need to buy another attachment to put it here. So I'll show you how to do the multi-exposure on the Nikon F2. It is slightly different from the other cameras that I've used. The multi-exposure is usually done in a different way. So for the Nikon F2, you will notice that now I'm on frame 12, right? The camera is ready to take the first shot, so I go ahead and do that. To make the second exposure on the same frame, what you need to do is press down this rewind button, and at the same time advance the firm advance lever, right? So you'll notice that the frame has remained on frame 12, but the shutter is cocked now, so you can go ahead and take your second shot this manner, right? And you can repeat these two steps for as many shots that you want to capture on the same frame. So when you're ready to move to the next frame, what you need to do is to move the firm advance lever, cover up the lens, preferably with a lens cap. But for this demonstration, I'll just cover with my hand, although there's no film inside. And then just press the shutter button. Okay, you notice that although just now you have advanced the film lever, it's still at frame 12. But what happened here is that the rewind button has popped up. So now you can move the film advance lever again, and you'll notice that now it's on frame 13. And from now on, you can shoot per normal, one shot per frame. Hi guys, we have come to the end of this video. Please like it, share it, and finally do subscribe to my channel, and I see you at my next video. Take care. Bye.